Hey, and welcome to another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
And we're continuing our countdown to Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Josh, you'll do it with us one day.
No, he won't. I know him.
What a dick.
Though maybe now that we put him on the spot, but probably not. No. So we're continuing our countdown, doing all commentaries of all the theatrically released Superman films. We're going to kind of throw you another curveball. You're going to get a Superman 2 commentary, but not the Superman 2 that you might be the most familiar with. No, we're doing a commentary for the original vision of Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, which is actually pretty widely available now.
Mm-hmm.
Digital HD, DVD, Blu-ray. It's seen all those kind of releases.
It's probably almost easier to get than the original, theatrical release one. Yeah.
Unless you're stuck on Laserdiscs.
Yeah. Gentlemen. But, so... how many of you guys have seen the Richard Donner cut before?
I have.
Me.
Never.
Ooh.
So you're in for a treat, maybe, depending on if you...
Have you seen Superman 2 at all?
Yes.
Okay. It is the superior, in my opinion.
No, I feel like most people would agree.
I mean, if the villains are defeated the same exact way, then it's not superior in any way.
Well, I don't want to spoil it then. But they are.
Oh, shit.
There's just so many things you can and cannot change.
Yeah. There's some things that from Superman 1 that you're not going to like at all.
Well, also, wasn't 2 conceived as just still continuing the story of the original Superman film? Like, it wasn't... It was more like part 2?
Yeah, the original concept for Superman and Superman 2, when Donner did it, was that it was going to be, basically Superman Part 1 and Superman Part 2. Kind of like what's really popular nowadays, like what the next Avengers movie is doing. It was going to be one contiguous story, which is why the opening scene of the first Superman movie has Zod getting imprisoned in the Phantom Zone, and then we don't actually see them as again until Superman 2. If I remember correctly, the original ending of Superman 1 had the Phantom Zone breaking apart, and that was where the to be continued type.
It was supposed to be the first post-credit scene.
That's what it was.
Yeah, the first post-credit scene before Iron Man, before any of that, before Super Mario Brothers, was supposed to be the nuke that Superman throws into space inadvertently frees the criminals from the Phantom Zone. Because both of Superman and Superman 2 were filmed simultaneously, the Donner and the producers didn't get along at all, as we said in our previous commentary. Check it out if you haven't listened to it yet. They tell him to focus, and I can understand this decision, to focus his filming on the stuff that'll be in the first film and Superman the movie. But at that point, relations are so strained, he's just like, fuck you. And they're just it gets to a point where finally they're like, you know what? You're fired. They bring in Richard Lester, who directed the Three Musketeers films for them and the Four Musketeers for them, to finish Superman the movie and finish Superman 2. And that's... So for years, a lot of this footage was just shelved. Thankfully not destroyed.
Lots of people's private collections. And I think people that probably worked on the movie, they were like, well, we're not going to use this, so I'm going to keep it as a keepsake. And I remember when this first came out on the original DVD, people are hearing about all the lengths that they had to go to get a lot of this footage. They had video from this guy, but they had to get the audio from this guy, and it was all over the globe at this point, because it's been almost 20, 30 years by the time they made. I think it's been almost a little bit over 30 years now. So at that point, it was 20, 25 years when they made the DVD.
Yeah, because it was released. The Donner cut was released to coincide with the release of Superman Returns back in 2006, so 10 years ago now.
Yeah,
fuck.
wow.
And Superman 2, as we know it, came out in 1981. So yeah, it had been like Chris was saying, it had been 25 years by the time since the release of theatrical Superman 2 that the Donner cut finally officially saw the light of day.
Yeah, I also feel like this is, kind of regarded as most people's favorite of the Christopher Reeve Superman films.
Yeah, with or without the Donner cut, this is I think it's universally accepted that it's the best one. And then the Donner cut just adds that much more to it. Whether it's actually better or if it's just that weird sense of nostalgia where you're like, well, this was what we were supposed to see.
Yeah. I feel like Chris was saying, most people cite Superman 2 as their favorite. Superman film of all time, or at least better than any of the other Christopher Reeve films. And of course, most people would say better than Superman Returns. Who am I kidding? But and Man of Steel. But for me, it was always the cool thing that the Donner cut does that always kind of takes me out of Superman 2 is a lot of the campier humor is toned down.
Yeah.
So we got and anyway.
Yeah,
let's get this motherfucker going.
Right. There's plenty of quiet time at the beginning of the movie. We can talk. Yeah. So we are watching the Blu-ray version. It's the same as the DVD version. As long as you're watching the Donner cut, you are fine. Then there's like digital versions as well. Just don't pop in your Laserdiscs or VHSs because they don't have the Donner cut. As usual, we have the movie queued up, ready to go. The counter's at all zeros, so make sure you have that going for you. And then I will give you a countdown and tell you to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And there they even have a little message letting you know that this isn't the theatrical cut of Superman 2.
So if you don't see that, then you're probably watching the theatrical cut of Superman 2.
Mm-hmm.
So stop this and get your hands on the Richard Donner.
But thank you, WB, for getting that out of the way right away. So actually, if you want to hear a lot of interesting stories about the making of Superman 2 in terms of like the changeover between Donner and Lester, I highly recommend checking out the How Did This Get Made episode for Superman 3, the bonus segment, because they have Jack O'Halloran, who plays Non, Zod's right-hand man, and he like just has wonderful stories about how awkward of a changeover it was. Like they brought in Lester and he was just like walking around the set. You know, they still had Donner there, and so like Lester's like, something's up. And, you know, he smells something fishy, and he like goes up to the producers. And he's like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, Lester's just hanging around." Like by the third day, he's the director now, and he is like, he's really awkward, not talking to the actors so much, terrified of Jack O'Halloran, rightfully so, because this guy's a beast. Yeah. And then just hilarious, other hilarious anecdotes about working with Christopher Reeve and stuff.
A lot of the cast, like Gene Hackman, refused to come in for the Superman 2 reshoots. Mm-hmm. So everything you say that was filmed specifically during the Superman 2 production is a body double.
Yeah.
Marlon Brando successfully sued the producers for a cut of the royalties from Superman the movie because, you know, it was the highest grossing Warner Brothers film at the time. And so in the theatrical version of Superman 2, when Superman's talking to Jor-El in the Fortress of Solitude, he isn't talking to Jor-El, he's talking to his mom, Lara. So they brought it back.
Yeah.
After working out a deal with the Brando estate, of course.
Yeah. Oh, and also, apparently, according to Jack O'Halloran, they had actually filmed about 80% of Superman 2, but in order to get director credit for a movie, you have to have X percentage.
The majority of it, so at least 51%.
Yeah, so they actually had to, they filmed the last 20% and then at least another, like, 35% of the movie just to make sure that Lester could legally be the director.
I feel like that's why they have the alternate beginning in Paris in the theatrical version, which I enjoy that.
I dig that. Yeah. It's really fun.
I mean, I like this, connecting it more to Superman the movie, but I don't think of all my quibbles with Superman 2, that's certainly not one of them. I thought that was cool. It makes him it makes Superman a little more global, you know.
It's like the
well-traveled.
It's like the Nova rings in the Star Wars special editions. Like they're not what was in the original, but it's not a bad thing.
For me, like those and Cloud City being less claustrophobic are the only changes I really dig, which you can hear in our Star Wars commentary, is also available now.
Yeah. And Ben Burt is very alive.
Is he?
At the time of this recording.
There's a shot of the Phantom Zone where they're just kind of like awkwardly standing there like an album cover. You'll see it in a second.
I was about to say, where is this album?
This should be the list.
There it is. It's like the Lost Fleetwood Mac album. Non is Mick Fleetwood in this scenario.
There has to be someone who's made that, the Laserdisc or like a DVD cover for the Donner cut. It
better be.
They look like the album cover for what's the ELO?
Look at the
Face the
weird
Music.
bands.
Face the Music, the ELO album cover.
Yeah, I also kind of like how in every single Superman mythos, it seems, television show, offshoot, what have you, that anyone else that's leaving the planet at the same time as Kal-El, they're always hit by something that knocks their trajectory off course dramatically.
Brings it to, well, the destruction of Krypton.
It makes sense that they would probably be hit by debris.
Like everyone else gets
close.
safer travel than Kal-El.
Debris. The straight up destruction of Krypton fucking frees them from the Phantom Zone and Man of Steel. We'll get there.
Yeah, and their penis ships.
Got an odd sense of deja vu here, and I don't know why.
I have a weird boner right now, and I don't know why.
That maybe wasn't the most opportune time to. Well,
I know, right?
depending.
As soon as I said it, I was like, "Damn it!"
Well done, Chris.
There's another album cover status.
Yeah.
3 Dog Night or Queen 2.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should make take a photo like that and have that like be our logo for a week.
That would be fantastic.
Previously on Superman the movie.
Superman 2, film before a live studio audience.
Yeah. They should do the thing like in Rocky 2 where like it's all the scenes from the first Rocky, and then when Rocky shows up in the hospital, he has like longer hair and is in somewhat better shape.
Well, and that's one of the things that they did have to reshoot.
Commentary available now on the Rocky movie.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. One of the things they did have to reshoot for Superman 2 is a lot of the stuff when they were wrapping up the production of Superman 2, Christopher Reeve kept working out the entire time, so he was visibly more buff.
Yeah.
And so they're like, let's reshoot some of the Superman stuff.
David Prowse himself helped with that.
The Darth Vader.
The Darth Vader.
Keep the kiss in there. It's integral to that scene.
It is.
See, they had to keep it because he asked the question. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made sense. No one would have been. Everyone would have been like, "But she didn't kiss him."
Yeah. We have to keep him explaining that too.
Yeah, it was integral.
Debris.
And then also a train drives by and Lois Lane is in it.
He goes through the gauntlet again.
Yeah. Just to really pound it home. Yeah. Sam Stone style.
So to be clear, this is all pre him changing time, correct?
Yes. And also in the Donner cut of the first one, he doesn't change time at the end.
But we'll never know.
But so...
Right, Jeff Johns.
First question.
This is what frees
Only
them.
Keep watching.
This is all new stuff.
Right.
More album cover.
So confused.
They're like, all right, guys, pretend that a nuclear bomb is coming your way. All those different shots they needed.
Oh, a black hole. I like how stars were sucked into the explosion.
The singularity, yeah.
Even though those stars are millions of light years away. Good thing we've already been affected by the Earth's yellow sun.
I was about to say. They technically hadn't yet.
No, I mean, they're in the solar system.
The sunlight might have been able to penetrate through the Phantom Zone.
And this is where the post-credit scene would end.
Sam Jackson walks in.
But again, wouldn't of him altering the timeline have made that not happen?
Again, the idea is that he doesn't in the Donner vision, he doesn't alter the timeline at the end of Superman 1. We are watching a self-contained movie that doesn't relate to the Superman 1 that we already watched.
Yeah, the turning back time was intended to be the original ending of Superman 2.
Which we'll see in the Donner cut.
Not confusing at all.
And there was a scene that was scripted that they didn't film, where part of the consequence of him turning back time is the Phantom Zone criminals getting re-imprisoned in the Phantom Zone.
If I could turn back time.
Trying to remember if in the theatrical version there was in a lava lamp too.
Starring Ned Beatty.
Another reason why Superman 2 is better? Less Otis.
Yeah.
More Sarah Douglas, though.
Oh, I mean, I'll take Sarah Douglas over Ned Beatty any day of the fucking week.
What about Margot Kidder?
Over Ned Beatty? Yeah.
I'd take Jack O'Halloran over Ned Beatty.
Basically anybody on this goddamn motherfucking cast.
Except for Valerie Perrine.
Why did you kiss me?
Who's Clifton James?
Clifton James is a sheriff.
E.G. Marshall or E.G. Nolan as the president?
That's my Twitter handle, guys. Terrence Stamp. My favorite Zod. Take that. What's his name from Superman?
Man of Steel?
Yeah.
Michael Shannon?
Yeah, take that, Michael Shannon.
I will find him. It's ridiculous.
We'll get there. I have no people. Were you raised on a farm?
Me.
Oh, John Williams.
Oh.
Oh, Lava Lamp.
That's why it sounds like so many other John Williams themes.
Yay!
And Bill Finger.
Oh, yes. Mario Puzo.
For anyone who doesn't know, Mario Puzo wrote The Godfather, and they
hired the screenplay.
Well, yeah, but they hired him because they were like, we need somebody with like gravitas, and it's like, okay, so you're gonna get the guy that wrote okay, fuck it, why not? Why not?
Me.
Tom Mankiewicz, who was a film school mentor for Kyle Higgins, was a famous script doctor in the 70s. Retooled a lot of Bond scripts. Retooled this script, but because of WGA rules, he's only credited as creative consultant. Fucking guild rules, man. Guild rules.
Yay!
What if that was the only change?
Yeah. We can't slow down.
Yeah. Earth.
I wanted that subtitle.
Yeah. One of my favorite present, like when it says present day, that it doesn't take me out of the movie because I love the movie, but it's always funny, is in Close Encounters, where it's like in the desert and it's like present day, and then a dude walks by in bell bottoms immediately, and I'm like, oh, you just fucking took me out of the goddamn.
Again, this is all new. The original prologue, Lois Lane's in Paris.
First Lois in Paris. Jimmy, you awkwardly hover like no other. Hey, Josh, you're almost wearing the same top that he is.
He's an inspiration to us all, Chris.
Only member of the cast to show up in 1984's Supergirl.
They got to keep that continuity somehow.
The look on her face. It's almost better than the picture.
Yeah! I feel like I've seen Josh make that face on multiple occasions on this podcast.
It's almost as good as when she poses for the picture in the first Superman movie.
Again,
Oh, yeah.
Chris.
Hello.
Chris, again, she's an inspiration to us all.
Lois Lane able to accomplish what literally nobody for 30 years had been able to do at that point.
No.
She must have trained under Batman. Yep, definitely trained under Batman.
Wait a
World's
second.
greatest detective.
Superman's a nerd. She bites down on the marker and ink goes everywhere and like, ah! Like fucking Ernest goes to jail.
That kind of happened to my roommate once. It's hilarious. Another time.
Typical Clark passing the buck. Gee, when I elbow him, it's like I'm elbowing a steel wall.
It's like always kind of the logical progression where it's like she figures it out after their first big hoopla. She's like, "Oh, it's Clark."
Niagara Falls. I don't have an Aunt Hattie. Zoom.
I feel like at any point she's gonna grab a literal baseball bat to beat him over the head with these references.
Not subtle enough for you, Josh?
No.
More subtle for Clark.
Like a canary.
Maybe a plane.
Look up in the sky. In the theatrical version, she doesn't start to really suspect Clark until they get to Niagara Falls.
Mm. Just like that song, Nobody's Fool.
Or that film starring Paul Newman.
What did that pen do to you, Lois?
Yeah. This is, like, awful.
Splat.
That's
Credits.
better.
I like how everyone was just standing still. Like, not even like, paused. Just standing still, like, at the end of the Police Squad episodes. Typical big city. No one notices the guy who's clearly Superman doing Superman things.
God, Superman, you're
pissed is
kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Pissed she is later when she finds out he is Superman.
Right? The fuck?
I feel like that's a body double.
Mm. I think
I
it
feel like it's
was
just a
filmed
terrible
for the
scene.
Donner cut. You know, I imagine that's going to be a big, like, well-reported thing that she fell out a window. So saying it like that makes it sound like you pushed her. Ugh. The Foley is gross.
Two of my least favorite things in the Donnerverse.
That's not counting Superman 3 or 4.
Yeah. Well, people.
Yeah.
People.
That's in the extended Donnerverse.
It's Apocrypha.
It's like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the Burton verse, but not really.
Diamonds are forever.
Hmm.
That's in the Burton verse.
Yes. Yeah. We don't know. We don't.
It's true.
Could be.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, like, this is like I feel like more restrained. Oh, well, maybe not. God, damn it! Ned
Spoke
Beatty.
too soon.
Why don't you go back to Rudy?
Yeah, or Deliverance.
Oh. Doesn't end well for you in Deliverance. Really, nothing goes for you in Deliverance, but unless you're Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
The fucking Ned Beatty fanfare.
Got his own leitmotif.
I like how Lex Luthor, man of class, has fashioned himself an ascot.
You can't let prison keep you away from your good looks.
That haute couture.
What's going to help him beat Superman? His keen fashion sense.
Yeah.
Pinkies up, gentlemen.
Ugh.
You were saying about Foley?
Yeah. I don't know if it's just because we're wearing headphones for this or what, but like all the little sloshes are just like, ugh. It's like someone's licking my ear or something like that.
There was 3 lockers labeled number 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be a problem for some of these prisoners. Wyatt Earp Fogelstein.
Proof that the Earth is flat, gentlemen. It was right there in front of us.
Looks like the ceiling is made out of Thriller.
Speaking of Diamonds Are Forever, that dude's in Diamonds Are Forever.
God damn it.
They just can't get away from you.
And Spy Who Loved Me, now that I think about it. He's
Yeah.
one of the submarine captains.
So that's okay. It's much
So
better.
the Bond films do exist within the Superman verse.
Yeah, he gets a job at for NASA.
So I guess this is post Moonraker then, right?
I mean,
Or
they never.
pre?
Yeah, it comes out because Moonraker's 79. So yeah.
So, that's why they've made it past just a space station. They're on the moon.
They can actually get to the moon for a movie called fucking Moonraker.
Right? There's very little moon and very little raking in Moonraker.
Unlike Octopussy.
The guy looks like a Baldwin mixed with Donnie Wahlberg.
Donnie Baldwin. A woman.
Fucking 80s politics.
Yeah. What messed up your space mission? A woman.
There it is.
Oh, God.
There's not enough room in this suit for my boner.
Man, I need to maybe get that as a screen cap. Just that.
Just
yeah.
I would love for Neil deGrasse Tyson to tell me everything wrong with Superman 2.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that she wouldn't be able to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This poor bastard.
I mean, they're all pretty poor back.
Yeah. Well,
This is the same set that they filmed the moon landing on. Sorry, guys. I really like conspiracy theories. Don't necessarily believe them all. I just
Yeah.
like them.
If it's JFK or really any assassination in the 60s, I'm right there with you.
I never understood why he inflates
He depressurizes. It fucks up his...
his equilibrium. Okay, I thought she just tore a hole, and therefore all the air would be escaping.
Yeah.
I like
yeah.
I like fucking Captain Phasma here.
Yeah, well, no garbage compactor for this one.
No, just the cold silence of space.
Death so cruel at the hands of... That means no.
Boop. Then Neil deGrasse Tyson comes in. And he's like, it wouldn't have worked like that because the gravity, blah, blah, blah. He probably would have still come back down to the moon. Well, that's how you know it's fiction. Russia getting to the moon?
Do you know that over a third of polled Russians think we faked the moon landing?
Oh, really?
They're still sore.
One of the biggest proofs to me that we actually did go to the moon is the fact that Russia was watching us probably
so intently.
Yeah, so intently just to like make sure that we didn't beat them. That like had there been any inkling that we had faked it, they would have probably like plastered it everywhere.
There's websites too. If you listeners at home are into the whole moon landing conspiracy, where one of the major theories are just like debunked.
Hey, speaking of cheers,
hey,
it's Cliffy Clavin.
Tell us a story, Cliff.
USA, USA.
Like the fact that we don't need air to breathe in space.
Yeah,
Or the fact that you can be heard in space.
Well, I just like the fact that it's not until now that they're like, hey,
that was weird.
I think we have superpowers.
Houston. Angelica Houston? I'm wearing lipstick. That's what I think of your flags. Luthor. A boat. But the light's still shining on him. Luckily, the ineptitude of that guard kicked in right at the perfect time.
If I remember correctly, it was the fact that Hackman was so vocal about Donner getting sacked and refusing to come back for Superman 2 reshoots that he's replaced with Robert Vaughn in Superman 3 as kind of like a Luthor analog.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the sacking being like the big reason why Lois Lane has basically a cameo in Superman 3, because she was very vocal too. And the producers were like, we will brook no dissent.
And then she's replaced with Lana Lang, who would later play Mrs. Ma Kent on Smallville.
They didn't know initially, did they?
No, yeah. When she was like auditioning, she's like, I was in Superman 3. They were like, oh shit, you're hired. That and the fact that she's like fantastic on Smallville.
True. I miss Desmond.
We've said it before, but Terrence Stamp plays Jor-El, or the voice of Jor-El, but not the physical Jor-El.
The physical voice of Jor-El.
I bet he did like in one episode where he like visits Earth ahead of time.
No.
Well, that's Tom Welling plays Jor-El as young Jor-El, and that's they had like that shot from Superman for All Seasons where him and Lana are like dancing, floating, even though it's not Lana on the show.
I'll be your Superman for all seasons. Who's ready for a fat joke?
It is kind of funny.
Not even stepping on the
this
steps.
fucking doof. That's where this becomes Sam's favorite film.
How powerful is the Luthor kick?
Yeah. His
Extremely.
his kicks have the power of scissors.
And that's the last we see of Otis Fuckhead.
Yeah, even when Lex Luthor comes back for Superman 4, he's replaced with Ducky.
As his nephew, right?
Yes. I thought about myself in a bikini.
But I was wrong about Otis, but I do feel this is a more restrained Lex Luthor.
Mm.
And I remember revisiting Superman the movie last week. I was like, not as bad as I remember. Otis, though.
Otisburg. Yeah, even when we were watching it, I was like, I feel like Sam's being too harsh on Gene Hackman.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I mean, there's some elements I'd maybe tone down, but it's not. I remembered it being, and I think the real loudness of it is really coming from Otis.
Mm-hmm.
I still hate his Luthor.
What's his name? Kevin Spacey kind of takes a page from him in Superman Returns. Though he tones it down even more.
Yeah, that's why
He
I like
does
Kevin
give a
Spacey
great
more.
Luthor.
The in fact, one of my favorite Luthor moment, like Kevin Spacey Luthor moments, is probably the most campy in that movie, where it's just like kryptonite.
Yeah,
We'll get there. No thanks, discount Dustin Hoffman.
that was a hard cut.
Over the mountain pass. Saruman is trying to stop us.
There's no dogs. True North, because that's very different from Magnetic North.
You're questioning the greatest criminal mind of our time.
Yeah, yeah, I am.
Yeah, how does a criminal mind stack up against not criminal minds?
I don't know who watches Criminal Minds.
My dad.
I think my parents still do.
Why is she dressed like a pulp villain? The Crimson Feather. And the stupid idiot.
But that turtleneck, though.
Yeah. Eddie, fucking Eddie the Eagle.
It's like you heard.
Yeah.
Oh, Eddie the Eagle.
I'm going to see that movie.
I'm not.
I'll wait until I see reviews.
That very well may push me over under the edge. Under the edge.
You getting under the edge from you two?
Yeah. Get off me. You have to suffer through this scene.
Oh my god. Oh, that's where the cut was. Glad we had that.
It's one of those happy accidents. We decided to leave in the film.
We needed a transition shot. We just didn't have enough B-roll.
We wanted to keep the chemistry of these two alive, that after all this time in jail, they still know how to have a little bit of fun.
And yet we cut too soon on the Lois and Clark entering the hotel room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at the end of the day, the movie's really about these two.
If season 1 of Daredevil taught me anything, it's about the villain.
It's like a real-time 2-hour fucking scene of them walking through the ice.
Ugh. You've been holding it for 2 days?
That can lead to a UTI. Watch yourself.
Yeah. And it's a great way to warm yourself up.
Just go, man.
Reminds me of Cool Runnings. No? No one else? That's fine.
What was Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they freeze to each other.
Basically the same thing happens in Cool Runnings. They're at it's the Jamaican bobsled movie. If
I know the
you
movie.
don't know. Well,
I know that movie.
There's like 2 other people that listen to these commentaries.
I had a Jamaican English teacher who she would play that movie as like a source of pride.
It's a great movie.
It's fun.
It's good. It's good.
Oh, here's another Donner. And another Donger.
Yeah, originally, again, it was Laura. Looks just like the kid. He looks just like Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't.
He is standing. He does have hair.
He does have an S on his chest.
Yeah, he has a little spit curl. Yeah.
And with this, I'll make a giant island of kryptonite in the middle of the Atlantic.
I didn't like this scene in Superman Returns either.
Looks like he's going cross-eyed.
That's Brander's having a little fun. A little fun.
It's also Brando reading cue cards.
Yeah.
There's a scene in Superman 2 when they're after they've broken Mama Connor out of the mental institution, and they're driving, and Arnold Schwarzenegger has this big long monologue. He's reading cue cards off the windshield.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. Because he has some like some intense shit to say.
That basically the timeline, right?
Floating head.
I am Zardos.
Yeah, I love that they've had like
Walter Fink.
I am Arthur Frayne.
Arthur Frayne.
I am also Zardoz.
It just
I'm a false god.
It just reminds me of a villain from the Doom games.
Or that thing from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, that too.
With all the eyeballs. Actually, you know what? It reminds me of that one of the reminiscent evil poster that Jake was on. The first, when I just dragged Jake's head into it, it was like giant floating like that, and I was just like, I just took a snap of it and sent it to Jake, and I was like, this is the gloriousness. That
happened with the Lethal Weapon 4 one as well. When you had your head in, you're like, Jesus.
Because the source material was such a huge picture,
and you were making like a funny face too. It wasn't like just like normal Chris face.
Star Trek Insurrection.
I hope not.
I mean, means we get Tom Hardy, right? Or is that Nemesis? God damn it! Resident Evil Nemesis.
Shut up, Luthor.
And became a Fleetwood Mac album cover.
But that's what Superman 2 is for.
Let us go ahead and set up the plot of this movie. Let me dramatically fade away.
Yeah, right.
And the American way.
Online.
Now, if we could just have this 1 in a million chance that they actually showed up here. Oh, good. She found the bathroom. And it has plumbing. You know, I'm really glad that the humor was toned down for this version. Yeah.
Just remember, there's times in the theatrical version where it was worse.
I don't think I've seen the theatrical version since the DVDs came out.
Some of them, I don't know about Jake's box set, but some of them have both.
Yeah, mine
has too.
Mine does.
Mine has both, but
to be honest, I
just haven't watched it.
I probably saw this years, like I've seen the Superman 2, like the theatrical cut, way more recently than I've seen the Donner cut. It definitely is slapsticky. There's some ridiculousness in there. But
hey, you look like Superman. You have a son?
would you just let that kid die?
Yeah, to protect his identity.
Yeah.
That's if Man of Steel taught me
It's
anything.
Kevin Costner.
Hot dogs.
Nope, I'm hungry.
I could go for a hot dog.
Again, in the theatrical version, she doesn't suspect Clark at all, which is why she's still kind of like relatively nonchalant about it.
And I mean, I guess you could argue that after the failed experiment in Metropolis, she might be, not thinking about it. Hot dogs and orange juice. Okay.
Onions and pizza later.
Ugh. This kid deserves to die. And
Darwinism at its finest.
And his parents deserve to go through the trauma of having a child killed.
Jesus.
At the end of every rainbow.
There's a dead child. Hey, why is
What
that
do you
one
think's
guy
under the
running
pot of
away? Goof. How convenient that Superman just happened to show up right here.
That's why she starts to suspect it in the theatrical. Yeah. We get the.
What a nice. Oh, sorry.
For all those, there's that one random lady that says, "Of course he's Jewish." And it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, he is.
His creators certainly are. So
And
yeah,
they based him off of Moses,
yeah,
not Jesus, like a lot of you silly folk think.
yeah. Brian Singer.
You know, that kid's surprisingly dry for falling right next to the falls.
Surprisingly dry for having touched Superman. You know what I'm saying?
He's hot.
And bothered?
Hot-blooded. Check it and see. I mean, I guess you could argue that the speed of flying air-dried him.
You could also argue that none of this fucking exists.
Could argue it's fiction.
I like that was Josh's one question after a Superman flew in and saved the child was, why is he dry?
I like this effect.
Oh, look, it's Joe Walsh. Not actually.
It's wet. Here's some more test footage. You can tell because their hotel room looks nothing like this.
Another giveaway is, I guess, Clark's hair, though you could argue he's preparing it for the dinner.
Yeah, but it is definitely longer. Yeah, see now it's totally different. Yeah. That's one of his powers, though.
Yeah.
He can volumize his hair.
Mm.
Saves him on conditioner.
I mean, yeah.
I wonder when that was retconned out.
Right around
the same time as the cellophane S.
The miniature Superman.
The cellophane S. I love that. The first time my sister watched this movie, I was like, "Hey, Denise, watch what he does here." And I told her what he's going to do, and she's like, "No." And then it happened. She's like, "Oh, you weren't kidding."
Oh, Denise.
I was like, "Yep, the fruit roll of Bess."
I'm a damn good reporter. There's that hair again.
Yeah,
that's right.
looking off into nothingness.
She's explaining it for the audience at home.
Yeah.
In case you guys didn't know.
Just snaps.
I've had enough. Always henpecking, nag, nag, nag.
Henpecking.
Puts her head through a wall, walks out gracefully.
I was just looking at this. Like, weird.
Composes himself. Volumizes his hair a little more. Night on the town.
Impressive ADR.
Biggest killer of children in 1981.
Niagara Falls?
Yes. That specific high point. They shut it down like Disney World.
I was standing in front of the light.
He's eating his wiener in peace.
Focus.
We should all be so lucky. There was something, and I'm wondering what, Mr. You've been to film school, so these movies always kind of like, especially with the exteriors, they always have this weird glow to them.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about that?
Chances are, like, the bulk of it is probably just miscalibrated lighting, temperature, and stuff like that of the film and the set,
But do you like it? Like, because it almost gives it like almost like a hazy, dreamlike quality.
I kind of do like it, especially when like it's in like the quote unquote right times. Like right here, I think it works because like she is supposed to have this kind of like glow about her, kind of thing. And then like with like exteriors and whatnot, it's really just probably more so glare from the sun than anything else.
Now, in the theatrical cut, it was a fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bit,
I will say I don't like how she finds out he's Superman in the Donner cut, but I love his performance that once the bullet hits him, his thing is to turn into soups.
Well, and she even says as much, because he just, what you may have not heard at home if this is the first time you heard it, he's like, you are aware if you were wrong, you would have killed an innocent man.
Yeah.
And she's like, I was using blanks. And you would think like Superman would be able to see it and feel it.
Again, I really don't like the way that I think that it's still stupid that he falls into fire.
Yeah,
but
I don't really like the bumbling.
But that seems more like, oh, that's how she finds out, not like this. I don't know.
But again, I felt like that's world's greatest detective logic right there. Using a gun with blanks.
Yeah, I mean, it was clever, and it's a nice little throwback to the real events or of George Reeve.
There's more than one. There's an entire herd.
Yeah. But where he, if Hollywoodland is to be believed.
Oh yeah, with the kid.
Yeah,
but yeah, like I said, I did like that he snaps to Superman posture.
Yeah, no, it's a very nice performance.
And here we get the voiceover of I wonder if he can still read my mind.
I wish it had that same song.
This time song like mind? Originally conceived.
Can you read my mind? Oh, hey, look, Lex Luthor's here.
I sense that someone's used my bathroom. I thought I cut off the plumbing.
Why is the toilet seat down? Stalker.
Creeper.
In the reshoots, she's also noticeably more, like, skinny.
Absolutely.
Cocaine.
Yeah, well, yeah. She had suffers from severe bipolarity, and between the filmings of Superman 1 and 2, or at least the reshoots, she had suffered a pretty bad panic attack. Hey, what's your favorite element of Live and Let Die and The Man with the Golden Gun? Is it the dude on the left? That's Clifton James to answer Chris's earlier question.
Thank you.
He plays Chef J.W. Pepper in both of those movies, and it's fucking...
Again, if we're led to believe it's a shared universe.
Here I thought they were just on their way to capture the Duke boys.
I would rather it be Boss Hogg.
Mm.
At least he doesn't have like the
Super accent.
the played up accent.
And of course, sawed-off shotguns are standard issue for county sheriffs.
It's the South, man.
I like how it floats.
Yeah. Almost as
telekinesis.
That and
Now, that's an impressive ability.
yeah. Well, you get architecture vision in Superman 4, so
Mm.
Non's like, oh damn.
Did he squeeze the bottle?
Apparently. That's an ability he has.
I like how this is his dinner attire, too.
Yeah.
Those intense eyes.
You are Clark.
If you go back in time and have sex with your grandmother...
That was a Futurama reference from Chris for all you at home.
Yeah.
This was something that they didn't have Donner footage of.
Mm.
And Donner, even though he includes it in his fucking version, but he hated how Lester filmed this. He's like, it's just how a foreigner would imagine small town America, with like the military being like conveniently right there and everything.
No, I figure you mean looking like a backlot?
I like that it
too.
I like that it looks like the one city block that we see in the first Thor movie.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I just
In fact, that backlot got an upgrade to be in that film.
Yeah, at least that had a Burger King.
When Thor walks
Like
up
I
to
said, it got an upgrade, Sam.
Thor walks up to the destroyer and he's just like, friend, and he just gets backhanded.
Yeah.
There's a deleted scene in the first Thor, commentary available now, but where Volstagg eats a Whopper. It's just like delicious. It was just like, God.
There's also a deleted scene where Thor gives a mug to the waitress. It's cute.
Well, that
like,
backfired horribly.
Just looks like the fire that like pops up at like a Universal Studios event. You know, just like, oh, it just happens to be there suddenly.
All the White House stuff is particularly hazy.
Yeah, that's just underexposure.
I mean, I kind of figured, but I was wondering how you felt about it, really.
Like
Like you were saying, you kind of dug it.
If it's used, like if it's intentionally used and it works with it, but that just looks like inconsistent filmmaking. You know, like either someone wasn't paying attention or they were using. You know, you needed machines to fly on Krypton. Sorry. But yeah, so either inconsistent, you know, people not paying attention or having too many different crews working on the same thing and not having one person being like, no, it has to match. And also, I mean, when you're dealing with film, there's so many things that you have to be paying attention to on the day because you don't have the ability to change it afterwards, like digital filmmaking now.
Well, to be fair, they're all challenging you. They're just losing horribly.
I win. We were about to get another big Zod favorite line of mine. You shall answer to me. There's one of the things about the theatrical cut.
Is she going to claim another piece of flair?
She gets a bunch.
But like even there, like the two different shots, like it was very different, amount of like.
And like I said, when we get back to the White House, it's like super.
Yeah.
The exposure is like so inconsistent there.
Yeah. F-stop, drop down. How do you know? I don't even know. I have.
I just loved how ready.
That general. He's like, I've got one line in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, Mars attacks.
Yeah.
Well, that was completely random.
They're coming.
Oh, was that like a "this might happen to us" footage?
Well, no. That happens. The difference is in the theatrical version, it just cuts right to them attacking the White House right after that, which makes more sense. Oh,
I see. She found the gift shop,
and I see he found a change of clothes finally.
Well, this conversation, originally, is supposed to happen right before they bang. And it kind of implies that he can only bang her as a human.
I was about to say that scene of them lying in bed. Am I to believe he's already become a human?
They could just be cuddling, Some people don't jump straight to sex.
But I mean, no.
I'm sorry that you're a stone cold stud,
yeah.
Josh, banging bitches left and right.
Like Paul Stanley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss. Well, then you'll have to go with the vegetarian dish. Fuck you, Dad.
Bitch.
Yeah. After the first movie?
I turned back time for them.
It was starting to feel like a Smallville episode.
I had a plan, a mission for you all along.
Yeah.
I always hated whenever actors did that.
Oh, yeah.
They do it a lot on Supernatural.
Do they?
Yeah, I wanted to make a super cut, and I was like, this is going to be as long as an episode after just half a season.
I'd watch it.
Ugh. Just 20 minutes of Sam and Dean Winchester going,
Yeah.
oh, God.
Imagine the views you'd get on Facebook.
Right? And Tumblr.
Oh, Jesus. The disapproving stare as he fades into nothing. Good talk, Dad. Good talk.
But there is. I don't know why I'm just lying to you right now, but
You get
This
to
is
do
why
it.
he has trust issues.
You get to do it once, but then if you want to do it again, it's super serial, and it'll seriously take all your powers away.
I love her.
So how long should I wait until I let him know I've been overhearing this entire conversation?
Think on your sins.
Now, am I to believe this alters his DNA? Because otherwise there'd be no way this could theoretically work, right?
The idea, and again, just fiction, but either way, the idea is that he's bombarded with red sun radiation. So red sun being, the son of Krypton, and that's what... It's like being exposed to red kryptonite.
Right.
It's just a super concentrated dosage that just cancels out his powers from...
So, theoretically, with enough exposure to the yellow sun over time, that would nullify these effects.
Which is basically what happens at the end of the second act.
Okay.
Well, you'll see it.
Or at least what should.
Yeah.
What Neil deGrasse Tyson would say happened.
Yeah.
Although
Okay.
Neil deGrasse Tyson would also be like, there's nothing different between a red sun and a yellow sun, or this is what's different, not the radiation, and radiation has nothing, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Neil deGrasse Tyson, but
He's a bit smug.
I don't like him. I'm fine with him tearing apart Gravity, but I'm not fine with him tearing apart Star Wars. Because it's fiction, and it's supposed to be
fantasy.
fun. Yeah.
Ah! Hey, you're shooting that wall behind me.
Yeah, what is this, Pulp Fiction?
No, it's Stormtrooper accuracy.
I love how there's no ricochets.
Bitch.
My father was the Godfather.
I didn't know that was actually a support beam. I thought it was just aesthetically pleasing. Oh. I'm going to get you with my hands. Oh.
Sassy Terrence Stamp.
I love how much of a boss he is. We're also, something that was cut because Lester felt it was too violent, is we're about to see General Zod use a gun.
Out of curiosity.
Where's that gif?
And just the text for it, Scarface ain't got nothing on me.
Yeah, he's a better actor.
Olympus has fallen.
Oh!
I twitch, then kick.
I feel like we should have gone to Camp David or something.
Maybe one of the millions of bunkers around the country.
Or the one in this room if you watch Days of Future Past.
Yeah. Is it encased in lead? Please, God, make it be encased in lead.
You know who could take out these guys? Jacked George Washington.
I still need to draw some commissions, specifically a Ben Franklin creating electricity with weightlifting.
Deadlifting 500 pounds.
And there's John asked for buff Teddy Roosevelt spanning the Grand Canyon. Is there a buff president you'd like me to draw, Josh?
Abraham Lincoln making the Grand Canyon with his dick.
Jefferson.
Doing...
Banging one of his slaves. Oh, no, this is supposed to be fiction. Sorry.
Anything?
All right, I'll go. Artistic license, okay.
80s sexism. It's alive on Krypton.
Hey, man, it's okay.
It's all right that you're a little bitch.
Yeah, you can stop kneeling.
Such sass.
I love Sassy Zod. It's the best. It's the best part about Terrence Stamp.
And it says imbecile.
Nice little, like, for anyone who missed that, like, he says, "Oh God," and Zod corrects him. But yeah, that's something that, I mean, you could argue there's a lot of things missing with Michael Shannon Zod, but one of the big things is there's just an air of superiority that Terrence Stamp brings to the role. And it's so just, like, there, you know?
Hot dogs.
Well,
By the way, how did they get
really
that
likes
car?
her wieners.
He stole it.
How?
Michael Keaton's Batman showed him. It's a shared universe.
Well,
what if that was I mean, obviously there's still 8 years till that one comes out, but like, fucking Superman's like, I got no powers, and you just see the fucking Batmobile pull up. Batman's like, I got this.
Do you bleed?
Yeah.
I do now. She with you?
Yeah.
I thought she was with you.
Those pans look like Madonna's titties in the background. You know, the fucking pointed bra.
Now that I'm not a superhero anymore, I gotta pee. Quick bathroom break.
Still getting used to the plumbing.
I never really cared for this, like Clark
What?
being a dick. Well, not a dick, but like
He's
Clark,
standing
Clark
up
being
for himself.
Clark being aggressive.
It's more for me what he does at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
That's
when he comes
a little,
back.
That's a little, yeah.
Again,
But
Superman's kind of a dick.
But I didn't like the Superman or the Clark like just immediately is like, you want to step outside. I'm fine with him standing up for himself, but like I feel like his character.
You feel like there needs to be more motivation for him to suddenly be like, yo.
Well, yeah, because clearly they were just like, hey, let's get to showing him bleed as quick as possible.
Yeah. I would have preferred it to just be like someone needs to teach you some manners, and the guy gets up and just shoves him, and he falls through the window. I feel like that would have been more in character. Zod. This is what pain feels like.
There's that, moment in Earth 1.
Oh, yeah, he gets zapped.
He's like, that's
that's
what
what
pain feels like. It's like, don't you have to use your heat vision to shave yourself? I'm sure you accidentally nick yourself every... And that's always weird to me, too, that his like heat vision can like cut himself. It's like that powerful. You kind of get a touch of that in Man of Steel, where like he clearly has to like,
like
recover
it's
for
painful.
a second. Yeah. Clark doesn't even. How much free time? Okay, I mean, it's never clearly defined, but how much time do you think Clark is human before suddenly he immediately regrets his decision?
I'd say.
How long did
I'd
that
say,
ass kicking take?
I'd say. Yeah,
Now,
I'd say it's been at least a day's travel from the fortress to where they are now. Come with me. Banana, banana. My name is Zod.
Kinda.
I mean, we all just heard the report just now, so
It's not your fault. Not you, Will. Not you, Will.
Message, always listen to your parents. Non's amazed by physics. He's so powerful that it doesn't even lock the door. Hey, look, George Washington behind Lex Luthor.
That's right. He ain't nailing the shit. He's got the high ground.
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. Revenge.
It would have been better if he was just like, what?
Yeah. I'm glad that's something that, like, of all the influence that, like, DC Comics took from the Christopher Reeve movies, an affinity for beachfront property for Lex Luthor was not one of them.
Yeah.
Thank Christ.
Shameful.
The Revenant.
They'll screw up Superman in other ways.
Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
The Thing. The Shining.
Whiteout. Yeah, no one remembers Whiteout, do they?
Written by Greg Rucka,
Sure.
who we interviewed. We interviewed the artist of his current book, Black Magic.
It's like that scene in Man of Steel.
Wait, I was referring to a movie. Is there a comic book, or did he write the movie?
He wrote the comic.
Okay. Is the movie based on the comic book? Or
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me for not knowing.
You're excused.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
Oh, that's right. This blew up. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was standing
Right now he's thinking,
right near this.
shit, I gotta find a Radio Shack.
I guess, yeah, in 1981, Radio Shack would still be relevant.
Circuit City's coming back.
Yes. Not as relevant in that time period, though.
I love orange blood in
That's right.
movies.
It's the Tim Burton Sweeney Todd blood.
Mm. Or like anything from the 70s.
That's right.
Maybe I should have watched that crystal that Lex Luthor watched. Join hands.
Fuck!
Mother?
The toilet flushes.
I found it again! Oh. Beachfront property.
It's calling to you.
Grabs it, has a flashback to the Battle of Bespin.
Yeah. Yeah. Sees George Reeves fighting the Mole Men. He's just like, no, like in the end of the Superman.
Sees Dean Cain. Just in general.
Dean Cain and Supergirl.
Yeah.
Which has been in like all for like maybe combined 5 minutes.
Yeah, what was it? Only like 2 episodes they even had an appearance?
Yeah, the pilot, and then there's a later episode. It's another 18 years to become Superman again. Movie just restarts.
Because I hate you. Father, can you hear me?
I recorded this video because I knew you'd fuck up one day.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I said that decision was irreparable? It wasn't.
I'm just a really, really bad dead parent.
I can find Zod with a machine gun in image form, but still no GIF.
Keep scouring, Sam. It's gotta exist somewhere.
Look at me! When we last met, I was but a learner. Now I am the master.
It's the best line.
Eyeball!
For a man who likes saying goodbyes, he keeps coming back quite a bit.
I want you to shake.
Shake that ass for me.
So that's what it's like when a Kryptonian has a seizure.
And an orgasm.
They're not one and the same?
Don't call me sugar.
That's one way to open a door.
I don't even fucking like this wall.
He's just trudging through. He's like, I hate the cubicle system.
Yes, run towards the giant man.
Dilbert, if he had powers like Superman, I feel like would do something like this.
I'm sorry, I only accept people by appointment.
Huh, that didn't work.
Where is it? Where's what? The rocket.
I think it's an A for effort.
I guess it's really easy for, unless he hitched a ride.
No pictures. Friendly neighborhood Lex Luthor.
Sensors.
This is a family picture.
That's why we had Superman and Lois Lane banging.
You mean, I don't know, you use like 3 double entendres in a fucking row!
Thanks, Sam.
No problem. Gotta keep
Let
you on your toes.
the hate flow through you.
Australia?
I feel like that's Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick. It's not, but might as well be.
Zod.
I think a lot of the campy humor that really gets cut out of
The Lester.
the Lester version shows up here in the Battle of Metropolis.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as a kid, I mean, this was the fight in Metropolis was the coolest thing ever. It's charming now.
Quaint.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's no Man of Steel.
You're right. It isn't.
Thank God.
Zod.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, right. We all have powers.
And alright, concrete explodes.
In Metropolis concrete, it's famous for it. Everyone's like, "Ah, fuck collateral damage. Let's just sit." I mean, 1981.
Son, you're in for a show tonight.
Frasier isn't a thing yet.
That's right.
Seinfeld.
Cheers isn't even a thing yet.
Yeah.
That's pre-Cheers John Ratzenberger we saw. Only by about 2 years.
Frasier wasn't even a thing.
Oh, okay. It's like John Williams' cell phone went off when they were.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh God, it's Steven. Doing Raiders.
George needs me for Jedi.
Yeah. Whoa.
Metropolis is New York City, if you haven't guessed yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
The cover for Superman 2 makes it about as clear as you can get.
That's probably my.
And here I just thought they took a really quick trip to the Big Apple.
It's probably it kicks him all the way to New York City. It's probably my Superman 2 is probably my favorite Christopher Reeve poster, where it's like all three of them, the Kryptonian criminals flying at Christopher Reeve with Metropolis in the background. Face.
As a kid, I was just like, yes. He just
take
punched
that
him in
Empire State Building.
It's like Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan are meeting their Sleepless in Seattle status.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We shouldn't have been watching this entire fight.
Well, there goes everyone's cell phone reception. Maybe I should fucking move.
I do literally have the entire street.
I do like in Spider-Man where he's like, what? Like that one kid's like, oh, is it about the float's about to kill him? And Spider-Man's like, come on, man, move, kid.
I found your weakness. And it's right about your door now. Testify. Bam, bam, bang, bang.
That movie ran through me.
I like the idea that like they can hardly fathom that Superman cares for like humanity. Like, and Ursa's just like pets, and he's like, I guess.
Yeah. There. He just found out that like Superman cares about humanity. He blows up a car with nobody in it.
Yeah.
Low stakes.
Yeah. We'll get bigger.
Escalation.
Yeah.
Looks like the car from Bullet.
No.
AV Club argued recently that the start of the modern action movie was the car chase of Bullet.
Oh man, that's like perfect. That car chase.
It's funny that it takes longer for the gasoline truck to blow up.
Yeah.
But fuck it.
Well, that's because there was a person in there, Sam.
It's a full tank.
Yeah. It's not as explosive as concrete.
Yeah. Or as other gas tanks.
Yowza!
I always like that.
Yeah.
It's one of the gags I do like. Richard Lester. All right.
Why does he have to do the Superman pose?
Why was the video quality suddenly a lot worse for that shot?
Yeah.
Different day, different crew.
Reshoot material. Or no, it probably wasn't. It was probably like salvaged Donner material from reshoot.
Could be. Another gauntlet.
Why does Non sound like the Rancor?
Yeah.
Why don't you sound like the Rancor?
Practice.
Pre-Rancor.
Yeah. Lucas stole this.
Yeah. No CG there, folks.
There's your Man of Steel moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this. He's able to fight 3 Kryptonians and not destroy the entire city.
Give it time. He's working up to it. Block by block.
Yeah. He already did save like a lot of people though.
Hey.
Remember me?
One of the first times I ever noticed like product placement was this Marlboro truck.
Oh yeah.
Because some magazine that I was reading made a big point to be like, why does Superman have to be thrown through a Marlboro truck? This is a kid's movie. It's like, well, Marlboro's got to pay for something.
Also, about how long has he been fighting all 3 of them so far?
I don't know, 10 minutes?
Well,
maybe.
Yeah, because we started clipping around 125 and it's 136 now.
So 10 minutes in, at no point does he think, gee, I should really move this fight out of the city.
Well, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, what's he going to do? Be like, hey, 3, follow me.
Well,
yeah,
obviously, yes, they would
Which
chase
is what he ends
after
up
him.
doing, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But like, you
But
know,
he's taking his time to realize that.
Evita.
Yeah. He's kind of got his hands full.
his hands are empty right now.
Well, I just...
Was he smiling for a second
He's
there?
like, do it. I want you to do it.
No, that's just for the people who use that same argument for Man of Steel.
Oh, you will. It's also a one-on-one fight in Man of Steel.
In Man of Steel, the reason why he leaves Metropolis is because of the thing in India.
Yeah, but like you were saying, like the actual fight with Zod, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, he's fighting all three through several different cities.
He takes on.
Yeah, he only takes the.
We'll get there.
In Smallville, he
Yeah.
doesn't take them out in Metropolis.
Can you believe this? Like pointing at like.
Forget about it.
He's dead.
I'm walking here. Superman's dead. E-I-E-I. No?
This will be a phenomenal idea.
Yeah, this is the Super Spider-Man.
He was
ending.
able to kill Superman? Why don't we go after him? With
It's the
Street
resolve
comes.
of the human spirit.
of the New York people.
What if
Why
they
don't-
use their other powers? Like, what if they use their heat vision?
Yeah, heat vision.
Then it stops being a kid-friendly movie.
Yeah, or just flew through them.
Or just flew away. They were
Yeah.
like, you mean nothing to us.
Yeah.
You were like the buddy. I really need to make this phone call.
There is like again the humor. A lot of it comes from.
This?
Well, there's little bits like where there's like a dude like licking an ice cream cone and it gets
Oh,
blown
yeah.
off into another dude's face. And you saw that shot of the KFC.
Mm-hmm.
Like these people that I guess just ate at KFC get like blown away coming out of it, and the waitress comes out after them. Is like, hey, you forgot your change, and she gets blown away too. And it's just like da 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 da.
Da, 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 da. Superman.
2.
Yeah.
Superman harder.
Oh, look, there's a guy on roller skates.
Yeah.
Oh.
Classic.
Yeah, man.
Boner
That would have been a
shot.
trailer moment.
Probably was.
Yeah. Part of me almost feels like that was a body double,
Yeah.
but because there was something different about the video quality there. But again, it could just be the exposure.
Yeah, could be Shitty Cruise. I mean, it was directed by Lester.
Line.
I wish I had sunlight to recharge.
Nice jacket, bro.
I'm on roller skates.
Where's those roller discos? Haven't you heard? It's 1981. Disco's dead.
Disco's not dead. Disco is life. I always knew he was a bum. Yeah, because they haven't shut down train service yet.
You're a bigger fan of Superman saying, "General, care to step outside?"
Oh, yeah.
Than you are. Haven't you ever heard of freedom of the press?
Like 100,000,000%.
Ditto.
As am I.
You people.
Just like uppercut him into Jupiter.
Avarice.
That must be another ability he has.
I've heard of this Cuba.
I think
They have-
Non wanted Cuba.
Can
really
you read
holding
my
on.
mind?
You're choking me. Why is she on Non and not Ursa? Probably, well,
Because look who is on Ursa.
yeah, why?
He won the coin toss?
Because she really wanted to be able to kill him if he was lying.
That too.
Where's that kid?
Oh no, he's got the finger pointed at him.
You. Oh, the point game on
Everyone
Krypton
point.
is strong.
It's like the ending of Reservoir Dogs.
So an Office episode where they're all pretending like they're in a...
Or that
Shoot
one
out.
episode of Spaced with the finger guns.
A presence I haven't felt since...
Turn.
You.
Okay, fine. It does change their molecules.
Thank you, Superman, for proving me right.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily change the DNA. Molecules and DNA are different. I do have a rudimentary understanding of biology.
I just realized, because I hadn't seen this in a while either. No cellophane S.
Yeah, that's right. It already would have happened. Yay! Take
it
that,
time.
Denise.
Give it time. It could still happen.
Because originally it's them threatening to kill Lois, what gets him to stop fighting,
Yeah.
not them trying to coax him out.
Hey, remember what that thing we did in the first act? Let's do it again. So remember when Superman did it and he was all like, "Ah, I can feel this thing happening to me."
Why aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they are three.
And they're not in the chamber of special effects.
I love this reaction from Zod.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Presumed dead.
By discount Richard Keel.
Greatest criminal on mind.
Of our time. Also a good way to explain it to the audience that are still like, wait, what? In the network...
Lois just killed someone.
Yeah. In the network version of... Because this is one of the few network films I've seen. The network version of Superman 2, they insert a sequence with the Arctic Patrol arresting the depowered Kryptonian criminals.
Yeah.
Which I think you can find online. I don't know if it's on the deleted scenes here.
But here we've learned a valuable lesson. Superman kills people.
Yes. It's arguably worse here, right? Because they're like depowered.
Yeah.
Yeah. They go on and argue that, Batman never killed people. Batman did. Superman's always above everything else. Not here, folks.
It's true. It's true. As much guff as I give Man of Steel for the way that they do the whole killing of Zod, this is more fucked up.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I also don't like... This is one of the added scenes in the Donner cut that I'm not a big fan of.
Are we about to see singing penguins?
Yeah, look how
I would
fucking
like
yoked
singing
fucking
penguins.
Reed is right there.
It's the destruction of the fortress. Which doesn't even make sense because he's about to turn back fucking time and it all comes back.
But as ridiculous as the turning back time is, still better than a kiss that's so powerful that it makes her lose just the bit that Clark Kent is.
The funny thing is, I agree that the kiss is stupid, but it is one of my favorite Christopher Reeve performance moments in the entire series.
If he'd never turned back time in the first film,
How does Lois survive? I don't know.
That's the question we want to ask Jeff Johns.
That's the question, man.
And we want him to answer, she dies.
It's bad enough if the turning back time would have reversed him ever freeing them in this one. She would still be dead.
One possible theory that I've developed over the years is that her being saved, or her being killed, and saved was Lester shot footage.
Let's hope, because that would be the only way to explain
I'll
that.
accept it as headcanon.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. It's just me.
That's the best going theory I've heard so far.
It's better than Rey being Obi-Wan's granddaughter.
Yep.
I like that one guy posted on your wall that Snoke was Porkins.
Yes. I loved that. We see him die, but do we?
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
He's got the same scars as Darth Vader. It could be Darth Vader.
Ugh.
Go away. That's sweet.
Can you read my mind?
Doesn't he reuse the super kiss now that I'm thinking about it in Superman 4?
I don't remember. I've only seen those movies once.
We'll get to it.
So, yeah,
But
I
if I
don't
remember
remember.
correctly, he brings it back. You could always be not so quite so mean to me. That would be nice.
I mean, you could change your character because you want to.
Yeah. You don't really need a motivation, do you? Do you?
You could just be a decent human being.
Yeah.
No.
Bye. According to, there was some interviews about this after the Donner Cut was released, and they were most of the crew, like the editing team, didn't want to reuse the
Superman 1 spinning.
Yeah, the turn back time stuff. But the word from the top was as much Donner footage as possible and as close to the original version of Superman 2 as possible.
Mm. Which would have been that footage shot that ended up in Superman 1. Mm. Smokes a cigar to brush his teeth. It's my one character trait. I need to use it.
It's like the end of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Wow, I feel like that's New York City now. Or at least in 2005.
It's like the Ray of Light video from Madonna.
Yeah. Well, I guess they did film the shot of them going back into the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
The more you know. I stand corrected, Richard Donner.
So this whole movie was pointless.
Yay.
Yeah.
What did we learn? Superman's about a bully, a trucker that has no memory of him
Yeah,
somewhere
right.
in Alaska.
This makes
that's
this
like
scene
that's
even worse now.
Yeah.
Again, like I've said at least 2 times so far, Superman, you are a dick. Not even kinda anymore.
And now they have to go back to
They all have
Niagara
the sense
Falls.
of they have the sense of deja vu.
Yeah. What's that whole thing of like? It's great that they wanted to like honor the Donner Cut and do, and we all love Richard Donner stuff, but at the end of the day, for me personally, the Donner Cut's kind of pointless because especially if you're watching it after the first one, like Josh is for the first, you know what I mean? Like it's totally pointless, and unnecessarily confusing.
Yes. Thank you, Jake.
But still amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
I'll take the better. There's certain things I like better about the Donner Cut.
But as a whole, Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, the ending is my biggest.
Yeah, and the in general, just
and
like
the beginning,
the concept of like the time travel is just in both the first and second Superman. I've always kind of been meh about. Oh, let's just fix everything by traveling backward in time.
Yeah, if I want time travel, goddamn, I'll go to the Flash.
Or Back to the Future.
Well, in DC Comics continuity, I'll go to the Flash. I could learn from his negotiating skills.
Wait.
Yep, that's Josh negotiating skills right there.
Ooh. I gotta do it again. Damn it.
Don't do the awkward. Straighten yourself. Don't do it.
This poor guy has no idea. But Clark is in the same clothes.
Who the fuck is this guy? There is a reference that he's like, we just fixed the place up again. It's like, no, you didn't. Unless he beats up people on the rag.
Yeah.
Yeah, shouldn't have happened.
Or, like, I mean, maybe he just renovated.
This guy.
Why does it lift up?
Dude, not my food. Not all our food.
Ugh. Tilt.
Who are you?
Jerking off two dudes at once in a very awkward manner.
And why do you gotta tell him you've been working out? This is the first time he's ever met you.
Again, yeah, they're like,
Who was that strange man?
Yeah.
And why'd he come in to pick one fight?
And then leave.
yeah. I prefer the ending. I mean, they have that in the theatrical version as well, but the original ending before it cuts to him flying around the world is, well, I guess, because you can't
The
do it.
super kiss.
Well,
right?
yeah, the super kiss. But after that, he visits the White House, which is still under repair.
Oh, yeah, and fixes the flag.
Yeah, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'll never leave again," because
And then he leaves.
yeah, for 5 years. But the yeah, but in time travel world, the White House never got fucked up.
I guess.
And
Less
this
Bowie.
retcons the need for Superman Returns,
More Bowie.
too, doesn't it?
Say what?
This also gets rid of the need for Superman Returns, the Donner cut.
Yeah. Well, it argues that.
Luthor's
'cause
already been to the
in-
Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But the
But-
leaving
well-
for 5 years and
Well,
coming
no,
back.
no. He can still leave for 5 years because the whole point of him leaving is like, oh, someone's found Krypton. Let me go see if it still exists.
Is that brought up in Superman 3?
No, it basically retcons Superman 3 and 4 because
Yeah, Superman 3 and 4 negate the need for Superman Returns.
because in Superman 3, which you'll see it all next week. Yeah. So I mean, again, if
Well, if anything, the Donner cut actually gives more credence to Superman Returns because Lex Luthor goes to the fortress as if he had never been there before.
Right.
Well, one of the people suggests they're like, "Have you been here before?" And he kind of like grins to himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't having said that, he doesn't outright say, "Yeah," like, but there's like kind of there's that implication. But yeah, man. I mean, it again. I like a lot of the elements of both the theatrical cut and the Richard Donner cut that we just did. The big thing is I like the tone. I feel like is more consistent throughout the Donner cut.
It's almost like it was only directed by one person.
Ooh. I will say though, as a Alf Joint, that guy's name's Alf Joint, and Dick Dembly, and Doug Ferris. I will say though, because I'd only seen the Donner cut once, and it's been a while, that I actually like the theatrical cut more.
Ooh.
So.
Ooh.
There you have it, man.
Yeah.
Josh, how do you feel having just seen the film the first time?
It's it's a mess.
You feel like Elva
It's not a hot
Hoover?
mess. It's just a regular old mess.
So you prefer the theatrical version?
Oh,
of Superman
Rocky's
2?
in this movie.
It going from the first one to this one, yes. The theatrical cut of the second one just makes more sense. Going from the first one to this cut, yeah, no. Like if I'd seen Donner's whole original vision, this might all make more
I would
sense.
love to see.
Yeah.
I would love to see two movies completely 100% directed by Donner. I think they would have made so much more sense.
Yeah, but going from what we saw first to this, no.
Hear that, Michael Thau? Can we get that?
Yeah, Michael Thau. He was the
Yeah,
producer of
whoever you
the
are.
restoration.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
Still looking at
you.
the screen. Yeah. But yeah, man. So
And Derek Bird.
well, as far as I know, and there's probably a network cut, but there's only one version widely available of Superman 3. And next week, that's the version we'll be dumping into. Literally dumping into it, like just pooping in the DVD case, because that movie's a pile of poo.
This might bring up some controversy, but I know Sam and I agree, and who knows for the rest of you guys. The other
you guys
two
haven't seen it in a while.
Never seen it.
Superman 3 is the worst Christopher Reeve Superman movie ever made.
Oh,
it is
now
the
I'm really
worst.
looking forward to it.
It is the worst Superman movie. In my opinion.
I'd even agree with you on that one, because like as much guff as I give Superman Returns, it's better than both 3 and 4, and same with Man of Steel.
So strap yourselves in next week.
I'm glad we're selling Superman 3.
Yeah, you'll see
You're
it.
selling it to me. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Well, Richard Pryor.
You're in for a treat. But yeah, so this has been another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep reading.